You're watching Southeast Today. Our top story tonight. The man infected with HIV when he was 15, calling for those responsible to face criminal charges.
I want the truth to be told. I want people to own up. I want there to be complete and honest apologies for what they did wrong.
First tonight, the man who was infected with HIV and hepatitis when he was a teenager, now calling for criminal charges to be brought against those responsible. Roger Newman from Whitstable is among the 3,500 people infected by contaminated blood in the 1970s and 80s. More than 1,500 of them have since died. The Infected Blood Inquiry is hearing closing submissions this week. Roger and his mum have been talking to our reporter Nick Johnson.
Roger Newman has no memory of a time when he lived with a clean bill of health. Roger and his brother both have haemophilia, a condition in which the blood doesn't properly clot.
I myself was 15 when my doctor, my haemophilia specialist, phoned up Mum and said both boys have been contaminated with HIV.
I was going to lose my sons, my precious sons. You know, they were so special to me, and I thought to see them suffering.
I just remember seeing it on the news, one of the sort of news programmes, and I just said to Mum, "Is that me? Is that what they're talking about?"
Roger and his brother weren't alone. Since 2018, survivors and their families have been giving evidence to the Infected Blood Inquiry, which is hearing closing submissions this week. The government has responded to criticism about a lack of apology.
The financial payments and commitments that have been made to date are, we suggest, or represent tangible proof of the acceptance made publicly on a number of occasions that the government owes a moral responsibility.
I want the truth to be told. I want people to own up. The fear of contaminating your wife, or even your children, you know, so every time if one of my children are ill or my wife comes down with something, my first reaction is, oh my God, what if it's something about me?
Sue Gorman's husband Steve died in 2018 after being infected with contaminated blood products more than 30 years before. She agrees with Roger that those responsible should face criminal charges.
The shame is that it's taken so long that the people who should go to jail either are dead or, you know, they're so close to the end of their life. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I want to see criminal charges.
As the inquiry nears its end, the wait for closure continues.
Well, Nick is with me now. Nick, Roger clearly very angry, understandably, and his brother too.
Yes, Roger and his brother are both managing their conditions now and managing them extremely well. But as I mentioned in that report, and as I alluded to, this is something that continues to affect them every single day. Not just them, but their parents as well. And while Roger and his brother and people like him have received interim compensation as a result of the inquiry, there's no provision yet for Roger's parents and other family members like them. They've had to live with this emotional toll for the past 40 years or so. Now, the blood inquiry was established back in 2018. We've been hearing evidence for the past 4 years or so, and we're hearing closing submissions this week. We're expected to get the report, conclusions and recommendations published at some point later this year.
OK, Nick, thank you.